Oh, hello. Welcome back to the Creative Adventure, episode 2. I just wanted to take a quick 15 seconds to say thanks to everyone who watched my last video. It got way more attention than I anticipated. I think that video now has more views on it than all of my other videos put together, so I think that's really cool. It was awesome to see all the positive comments and seeing that people want to come on this adventure with me. I'm going to do my best to keep the momentum going, so on that note, I'm going to stop talking and we're going to get straight back into it. So picking up from last episode, I've gone around this little island and I've put in a riverbed all the way around it. The style I was sort of going for was you've got your sort of grass block layer here, and then we've got the river bank, I guess this would be, which is mainly coarse dirt with a little bit of rooted dirt and brown concrete powder just thrown in just to add a little bit of texture. Unfortunately, because brown concrete powder obviously turns to concrete if it touches water, I've had to put them in the corners, otherwise they end up turning into that, which just looks completely out of place here. So brown concrete powder in the corners and then just rooted dirt sort of everywhere. So the next layer is muddy mangrove roots, and then the bottom few layers is just mud. So I've tried to sort of have it go from like a dry to a wet sort of mud dirt sort of consistency. I've also put in a little island here just because I didn't want to make this like a big giant bowl, and that block there is just sort of placeholder for where a tree is going to go. I have also left this little bit of overhang in. Originally I was sort of picturing sort of having it sort of come over into like a little tunnel, but it just didn't end up that way. I'm kind of liking the top bit. Not so much liking this bit, it's just too flat, so I'll probably touch that up at some point. But yeah, I'm kind of liking how it's turned out. So let's see what it looks like when we actually put some water in. It's looking very blue. I don't know what I expected, to be honest. But yeah, I'm quite happy with how that's turned out. So in the last episode, I was talking about ideas coming to me randomly. And whilst I was making the river, an idea came to me randomly. Now, if you go ahead and come into this pond, come into here and you swim, there's actually a small little gap you can get through, which brings you into like this dark little dingy cave. And there's just a little mossy cobblestone sort of feature here. And I thought, maybe I should make this like a little quest, like there's an explorer dude, and there's maybe like 4 or 5 of these hidden like shrines somewhere across the island, and then maybe he can give you a small reward if you tell him where all 4 or 5 locations are. And then I thought, actually, we could make it into like a little mini-series where if we go to other islands, the same guy is there, and each island has its own sort of little hidden places to find, and each island you go to, they get bigger and better, basically. So this is why this one's tiny and, well, pretty rubbish, really. It's it's intentionally bad. So this is the sort of the bit I've been waiting for now. So I want to start actually building some buildings and making like a little village here. This is the beach that we spawn on. We're going to come up here, up some stairs here probably. There's going to be a little bridge coming over the river, and then I'm going to build a path sort of coming over to here, and then I'm thinking at the minute maybe having a couple of trees or something on this little raised patch, and then having a few houses sort of around the outside, and then maybe a small like market stalls area in the middle, and then probably have another bridge going off the opposite side. So I have also thought about having something here. Again, I want to sort of keep this a secret until I've actually done it, because I think it'll be pretty cool to show it off if it goes to plan. If not, I will never mention it again. And then just following this sort of like natural pathway, I'm thinking of coming over here. There's a nice little secluded beach down there. I don't know what I'm going to put down there yet, if anything. And then, yeah, bring the path down here, and then we've got quite a big flat area here. So I'm thinking of having a farm or two. I'm thinking of putting like a sheep farm in where you can shear the sheep, and then I'm thinking of maybe putting like a wheat field in, because I think this area right here would be quite a nice location to have a windmill with a spinning blade. So I've already built a functioning windmill before, so I think it would be pretty cool to actually build it as part of the map, because the one I made before, I was just messing around in creative mode. So yeah, I think that'd be really cool if and when I do make it. Yeah, I'm getting a little ahead of myself, so rewind and let's start building here. So this is what I've come up with. We'll start with the bottom down here. All of these oak wood blocks are where I think I'm going to put trees. The only one I'm sort of debating at the minute is that one, because I thought this would be a nice little place to do some fishing. So I was thinking about maybe having a fisher guy there, but if I do, I might move that tree over there. We'll see how it looks. Now these yellow outlines are where I'm going to put some market stalls. I might put in another one or two because we've got plenty of space. But these are going to be the only shops in this entire village. Obviously, it's quite a small village, so there's not going to be any like proper buildings to sell stuff. There's just going to be a few market stalls. These blue outlines are where I'm going to put some houses in. I know originally I said I was going to have like 4 or 5, but I think I've got, what is that, 10? So, well, double what I originally anticipated, but that's absolutely fine. I might not necessarily fill every single one of them with NPCs. I might leave the odd house here or there empty, because I'm thinking if further down the line, if I finish this island and then do another island and then do another island, maybe when I'm on like my 3rd island, I might want to do a quest which brings me back here, and then I'll have like one of these houses to put an NPC in which links to that quest if I need to. So for now, I'll probably fill, I don't know, probably like 2/3 of them with NPCs, but then just leave a couple blank if I ever need them in future. Now this red building over here, I thought I could have like a little stables, and maybe just put a small quest in it where some dude's donkey has gone off and you've got to go and find it, and you can just go off, and once you found it, you come back and just tell the guy where it is, and then you get a small reward or something. I'm just thinking early game quests are going to be very simple, purely just because it's, getting the players used to them, but also getting myself used to them. I need to start playing around with scoreboards and command blocks and stuff, so they're going to start simple, but hopefully as time goes on, get a little bit more complex. So this is just designed to be a little notice board. I'm going to put a few signs on it and stuff, just sort of pointing out local sort of points of interest, sort of suggesting to go and speak to certain NPCs to start quests and stuff, just in case, you might miss the person who starts a quest. This will sort of tell you where to go. I've already made this one building. Well, I say building. This is just supposed to be like a sort of little area where like the local supplies are kept. So I'm going to stick some like hay bales and like just wood and spare bits in here. It's not going to be anything important, but it's just to sort of fill up a little bit of space, I guess, and make it seem a bit more villagey. Now, I wasn't originally intending to, but I feel like this place would benefit from a nice big tree in the center. I absolutely suck at, I would say building trees, but building in general, I wouldn't say I'm too great. So if I can design a good enough looking tree, I'll keep it. But if not, I'll either get rid of it or replace it with like a small fountain. But I'm going to try and build a tree to begin with. I've put a few placeholder lamp posts in, I guess. They're not going to look this bad, but I do want them to still look quite basic, because this is supposed to be like keep saying like a small village, but I don't want it to be too technologically advanced, because this, I suppose, is supposed to kind of be not in the middle of nowhere, but not near any major cities or anything, so they've got to make do with the local supplies. And then finally, I've got 2 of these blue cubes, one's there and one's over here, and these are just going to be where small wells are. And then I think that is all I've got planned for at the minute. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start making some houses. I want to try and build them all using the same sort of palette. I want them all to be sort of made from the same materials. And again, just because it's a small village, I want them to be made of mainly wood with a little bit of stone as well. So hopefully I can make up something basic but nice. So this is the first attempt at putting a large tree in the middle. It's not finished yet, and that is because I hate how this has turned out, so I'm going to go ahead and get rid of it. And start again. Working on that tree got me rather frustrated because I find that there's nothing more annoying than genuinely trying to do something and it just being complete rubbish. So I thought I'd take a little break from it, go and make a few buildings, and then get back to working on the tree. But I got a little bit carried away with the buildings and I ended up building almost the entire village. So let's go ahead and take a look at the almost finished starting village now. Now I still have a few bits to do. I've left the market stalls for now, and I still need to go through and sort of retexture the pathway because it's all just gravel at the minute. I'm going to put in andesite and stone and stuff just to mix it up a bit. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with how this has turned out. I'm not going to go inside every single building, but all of these are just like the residential houses. This area is just going to be for like a dairy cow or something, so an invincible cow that you can't kill, which you can come here and milk if you want. Now, one of the problems or one of the issues I had was when I laid out all of the blueprints for the houses, they were all square or rectangles pretty much. So I tried to sort of work in little bits that stuck out and stuff. Although saying that, most of them are still square. So yeah, I tried building them all out of wood with the odd layer of stone at the bottom. Obviously not on all of the houses, but yeah, I'm quite happy with the style that I've got. None of these houses have been furnished yet. I'm going to save that for another day. Yeah, I was just sort of building the houses that I wanted to do. Obviously, we've got the stables here. I'm relatively happy with how it's turned out. And of course, we've got the new tree. So I'm happier with how it's turned out. I wouldn't say I'm happy with it, but I am certainly happier, especially, well, happier than the last one, that's for sure. So I'll probably stick with this and just try working on making better trees in future. I've also added in another house here. I wasn't going to, but I just felt like there was too much space here just to be left as grass, so I felt like I needed to add another building in. This is probably just going to be another house. And then, of course, we have got another storage area here. I did chuck a little mossy rock over there just for a bit of a decoration. Got the pathway which comes around the back of the market stalls. Then we've got some more houses over here. I'm not massively keen with how this turned out, to be honest. I was conscious that the houses were quite small and I wanted them to be slightly bigger because I was afraid they'd be too small. However, I think it's gone the other way. So like this house in particular, I don't know. For me, it just feels massive. This is like the biggest house in the entire town, I think. Which, you know, it's nice on the inside, but I feel like the vibe I was going for was like small village, and this seems to be a bit bigger than what I was going for, or at least what I had in mind. And we've got a couple of buildings which have like little fireplaces in. Nice little touch, I thought. Now I had an idea for a quest, which is why this one has a massive chunky chimney on the end of it. What I was thinking was that this bit of overhang here, originally the idea was you would need a swiftness potion in order to be able to jump onto this bit. However, I thought for a starting quest, have a swiftness potion at this point in the game would be a little unrealistic. So what I ended up going with is that you just jump onto this lower piece here, you jump up onto this sort of broken bit of roof, and then you jump down inside the chimney because the little quest was going to be that some dude's lost his key to his house, which is why you can't open this door. And then I was going to stick a command on this sign that when you right click it, oh, in adventure mode, it would just teleport you outside the house. So the door never opens, but this is how you get inside, and you would just pick up his keys off the side. Just here we've got one of the two wells, and then this one is sort of like a bit of a, not a rubbish house, but it's certainly not as good as the other three on this area. I feel like I've slightly made a bit of a divide. I kind of feel like these houses are much nicer than the ones over there. It's almost like the rich side of town versus the poor side of town, even though that wasn't my initial goal. Finally, we've got this house here. I'm kind of debating whether I actually make it into a house or not. I thought of maybe making like a small bakery, even though I said I didn't want any shops. But the other idea is sort of making like a, I don't know what you'd call it, but kind of like a continuation of the tutorial. So any new players can come in here, and then there'll be like a map of the island, and maybe like you can get a compass in here for free or something. And just a couple of like books on, you know, skills and the general map, I suppose. Speaking of compasses, though, there's a little section over here I've made. This will be the respawn area, so when you get sent to the beach, your spawn point will get set to here, so when you die, obviously you don't respawn back in the tutorial, you'll respawn in this village. And then there's a lodestone here where you can assign your compass to. And then the only other sort of patch is this little muddy patch here. The one thing that I want to put in, which admittedly I won't be doing for quite some time, is seasonal events. So, you know, Christmas, Halloween, Easter, things like that. Now, there's going to be a set area where the events happen, or at least an area where there's going to be a portal to take you to where those events happen. And I'm thinking of having it on the southwest corner of the island. But this little area here is for when there is a seasonal event on. There'll be like a promoter with like a little travelling wagon or something, just sort of saying, hey, there's an event going on, go and check it out. And I'm going to try and make space for these in all of the towns, so it doesn't matter where you're at. When there's a seasonal event on, you will know, because there'll be like a little promoter in each village. So I'm just sort of trying to think ahead and just sort of mark out a little area for where they will go when I eventually come to sort of add them in. Just gone round all of the pathway and just put in some more different types of blocks, so stone, andesite, cobblestone. And I kind of like how it looks. When I view it from up here, I'm not overly keen on it, just because I've done like block, 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 block. I feel like it probably would have been better if I had done like little clusters of blocks and stuff rather than just single blocks everywhere. But realistically, no one's going to see it from this angle. They'll all be sort of on the ground. And from this angle, I don't think it looks that bad. So yeah, kind of pleased with how it's turned out, to be honest. I want to sort of start wrapping it up on the building now, at least in this village, because I keep just walking around and just adding bushes in just to try and make it feel a bit more, or feel like there's less just empty space. I've put another tree in there. Obviously I've still got these. I might do these next episode, might do them the one after. Because yeah, got a small little trick just to show you with these. And I've also gone around and put in quite a few more torches because I've got the day-night cycle just set to day permanently. I didn't actually consider what it looked like at night, so we go ahead and set it to midnight. It looks a lot better now that I've added all these torches in, because before I had like just a couple and this place was like completely dark. You'll notice here the entire sort of central area is lit up, and that is because I've got quite a few light blocks here, so you can only see them when you're holding one of these light blocks, and I've put them pretty much just like one block of space in between each other and just covered the whole area, because otherwise you sort of have light around the outside and then like a little bit of light there, and then there's just a big ring of darkness. So yeah, I think it looks quite nice and atmospheric. The last thing now is just to give this town a name, I suppose. When I was a kid, I grew up in a town called Maidenhead, which is just to the west of London. In medieval times, apparently it was originally known as South Ellington. Now, as this village is in the south part of the map and it's where the player starts, I thought it would be quite an appropriate name because that's where I started. Now, as I plan to make a village to the north as well, that one can be called North Ellington, which I guess means that this entire island will just be known as Ellington. So on that note, I think we will end the episode there. Hope you've enjoyed it, and I will hopefully see you in the next one. See you later.